NovaTech FX, are they genuinely making absolute fortunes for anybody and everybody, or are they simply running a Ponzi scheme? Now, it's impossible to prove a negative. For instance, I could say to you, I own a dog with 12 legs, and I could say that with honesty in my heart, say my dog has got 12 legs, and you could say, well, prove it. And I could say to you, well, no, my argument is you need to disprove it. You need to prove me wrong. Unless you come up with evidence that I haven't got a dog with 12 legs, then clearly I have got a dog with 12 legs. And it's the same thing that I get from people with NovaTech. They quote insanely high returns, 3% on average for the last 3.5 years. We need to delve into those numbers a bit further in a moment as well. But those figures are just crazy. At 3% per week for the last 3.5 years. If you do the compound interest calculator, you'll see that within a very short space of time, even with a very nominal small initial investment, you would be one of the richest people on the planet. That's on the 3%. Now, we've got to remember as well that that's what they're quoting for their members, but NovaTech themselves keep 30% for their own profits, which means you're looking at 4.3%, but they don't also trade all the money at the same time. So if, for instance, you were trading, let's just pick a round simple figure to work with. Let's say you were trading with $1,000 and you made 3% in a week. That means you'd have made $30 on that $1,000 initial investment. But NovaTech don't trade the full $1,000. They don't trade the full amount. So if you only traded 500 of your $1,000 bank, then to get the $30, which is your 3% per week, you'd actually need to make 6% on $500. So do NovaTech trade less than their entire account? Because if they do, then that means the 3% becomes even more impossible. Well, Ricardo Roy confirms his very self, and he is the Chief Technical Officer. And by the way, for those who don't know, he's also the brother of Cynthia Petian. And so Eddie is his brother-in-law. So there's basically 3 people in this company. They say they've got professional traders, but they've never shown any evidence to show that they have professional traders. But anyway, getting back to Ricardo, he says that they don't trade the full amount, which means they are getting far more than 3% per week, if that's true. So let me just show you Ricardo saying that.
We're never trading 100% of the funds because that's just too risky.
So there we've got the statement from Ricardo, basically admitting they are making far more in excess of 3% per week. It could be as much as 6, 7, maybe even 8% per week on the amount of funds they're actually trading, because they don't want to risk all the funds in some bad trades, because it's notorious. And you would never get a professional trader risking the entire bank in a week's worth of trades. So clearly they're making more than that. Maybe 8, 9% per week is their true figure if they're talking the truth. Now, I personally don't believe they are talking the truth, because if you could make 9% per week, well, it just gets even more ludicrous, the claims they're making. Now, if they are being truthful and they're making 7, 8, 9% per week, and they're professionals, they've been doing this for decades, and this is what they're all about, and they're really clever, and they just happen to be better than the biggest and best traders anywhere else on the planet, if that is the case, you'd expect them all to be very financially astute with their own finances as well. However, we have a cease and desist from California, and this pointed out some of the failures and false representations that Eddie and Cynthia were making about NovaTech. Falsely representing NovaTech is a registered hedge fund in the United States, so in other words, a lie. Falsely representing that NovaTech is a registered investment advisor, which they're not, it's false. Falsely representing means they're lying. Falsely representing that NovaTech is a registered broker, they're not. There's no evidence of that. Failing to disclose that the offer of sale of NovaTech securities was not qualified in California. And now we get to the more interesting things. If we are saying that NovaTech are genuine about their figures and they really know how to make money hand over fist, then why would it be that they failed to disclose that in March 2011, Cynthia and Eddie filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in the United States Bankruptcy Court in New York? Why would they have failed to disclose in August 2019, which is after NovaTech had started, that a debt buyer sued Cynthia Petian in the Circuit Court of the 15th Judicial Circuit in and for Palm Beach County, Florida, Civil Division for the breach of contract and unjust enrichment, alleging that Cynthia Petian had failed and or refused to repay a loan. These people are supposedly making fortunes. Why would also they have failed to disclose that in July 2018 a mortgage lender sued Eddie Petian and Cynthia Petian in the Circuit Court of the 15th Judicial Circuit in and for Palm Beach County, Florida, Civil Division, in an action to foreclose a defaulted mortgage on residential real property held by Eddie Petian and Cynthia Petian. Again, if they've got a long, strong background and experience, then why are they getting sued for default on mortgages just before they started NovaTech? You could look at this through different eyes. They were in dire financial straits and they had to come up with a money-making scheme. And so could it be they actually came up with the idea, let's run a Ponzi scheme. We know that people who run Ponzis can make a lot of money. Let's just do that. That will solve our financial woes. But it goes on. Failing to disclose in April 2018, a credit card issuer sued Cynthia Petian and the judgment was entered against Cynthia Petian for the amount of $11,776.55. She's not paying her credit card bills in April 20. She's previously been declared bankrupt. She's defaulting on her mortgage payments. They're not paying for a loan. They failed to disclose in October 2017 a credit card issuer sued Eddie Petian in the county court for the amount of $4,740. So they do it as a pair, as a couple. Neither of them are capable of looking after their money. But let's just go back to Ricardo Roy as well. Here's the Chief Technical Officer. He's the one who gives all the wonderful words about how good they are as traders and how they select these traders and so on. But hey presto, even though NovaTech started in July 2019, if we look here, Ricardo Roy has also filed for bankruptcy, and this was after NovaTech started. This is the 26th of February 2020. Ricardo and his wife Michelle filed as a bankruptcy Chapter 13 lawsuit, 26th of February 2020. So it really does suggest that these three characters here are hopeless with their own finances. Do you really honestly believe that they can produce such spectacular returns that within less than 10 years they could become the richest people on the planet? It just doesn't add up at all. And it comes back to that conclusion. I cannot prove that NovaTech is a Ponzi. However, look at the facts and the figures. The numbers are insane. The directors, the founders, Chief Technical Officer, they've all been declared bankrupt. They've all, not all, Cynthia and Eddie have reneged on credit card payments, on mortgage payments, and so on. I'm also going to do another video soon that shows that Cynthia and Eddie sold their house in Florida. They may not even be any longer in Florida. They may not be in the United States of America. They may have already fled to an alternative country ready to bring down the NovaTech Ponzi scheme once they've made enough money for their greedy pockets to go and vanish off to a different country. They may already be there. So all the warning signs are there. If it looks like a duck, if it swims like a duck, if it flies like a duck, guess what it is? It's a duck. To me, NovaTech has all the hallmarks, and I've only just covered on their figures of the returns that they're supposedly giving, just not matching up the personal finances of the people running the business. And there's a big, big red warning flag that NovaTech has been started just as Cynthia and Eddie were having real big financial difficulties, so they decided to start a Ponzi scheme. That is my proposal to you. Hopefully you can see the sense in that. Please be very careful listening to those who are already in the business and will make a commission from you to keep you or to make you join the NovaTech scam. Please be careful. Don't listen to them. Do your own due diligence. Do your own research. Make sure you listen to logic and critical thinking because what they're offering is just way too good to be true. The figures do not match up, and this scheme could collapse at any moment now. You will never know, and we can only find out that it's actually a Ponzi scheme with 100% proof once it actually closes. But by that point, it's too late for you. Too late for 90 to 95% of people who have joined NovaTech. Most people are joining NovaTech in the recent few months, and so it's just a really dangerous time to be looking to join this business. I hope that's going to help you save some money. I hope you see the logic in what is going on here and the evidence and the positivity of what I've just shown you to keep your money in your pocket. If you're already heavily involved in NovaTech, I recommend you try and get your money out as quickly as you possibly can, because this could fold and collapse tonight. And that point is just too late. You'll never see your money again from NovaTech. I wish you all the best. Thanks for watching. Do feel free to share, comment and like. Please also subscribe to my channel if you want to have and find out about legitimate ways and legal ways to put your money to work for you. Thanks for watching.